Hey there, David Chomet here. I wanted to talk about job descriptions and how important they are because what we're trying to do, if you remember, is set your business up in such a way that it runs autonomously. And in order to do that, everybody needs to know what their job is. Well, the first step in having the people knowing what their job is to have accurate job descriptions. Now, here's the challenge. When you are initially setting up these job descriptions, you will in all likelihood not have a specific singular person in mind for the description itself. In other words, as you can see on this memo here, you may not have a receptionist per se, someone who is specifically tasked with answering the phone or providing receptionist-like functions for you. Nevertheless, there will be receptionist-like duties that will be present in your business. So the challenge is to define all of those terms early at the beginning and then fill the buckets for each job as your business expands and as you develop a more defined set of procedures with regard to your business. Let me show you a sample list of jobs, and it'll give you hopefully enough of an idea of what those jobs can be. The challenge is if you don't list something at the beginning and you come back and try to add it, it can be a little bit more complicated. Not impossible, not difficult by any stretch of the imagination, but it can add some challenges. So let's very quickly run through this list. The first thing on the list is a receptionist, as I mentioned, and that's just basically somebody to be sort of the front face, the front end, customer facing face of the business. The person to answer the door, the person to accept packages, all of that kind of stuff. Generally, the first positive professional impression of the firm. And keep in mind, just as tossing this out, there are services that do that for you virtually. So it doesn't even need to be somebody inside of the firm necessarily. I, for several years, when I still had a law firm, had a company out of Portland, Oregon, which would answer my phone for me, even though I lived in Houston, Texas. But anyway, second, a secretary, which is basically more on a task by task basis, on a project by project basis, singularly tasked with performing different tasks, whether it's copying or the logistical stuff that's tied to fulfilling contracts and other obligations that the firm may have. Now, remember, this is for a law firm. This is I developed this more when I was practicing law still. So there's a paralegal here and an associate, and these are people who are basically junior level and mid-level people at your company, and they each have specific projects that they're working on, specific tasks within those projects. So if you think of it in those terms, you probably have a similarly functioning role within your organization. There's a rainmaker role. Of course, you need somebody to be bringing in business. Maybe this is the chief of outside sales. Maybe it's an outside salesperson. It could be the inside salesperson, but likely to be the outside salesperson, the person who is tasked with going out and finding that new business. And that is sometimes separate from an owner, the person who is basically in charge of the business. That might be a chair of the board. That's the CEO. Could be a lot of different things. Again, this is a way of developing tasks and roles in your business. Why is this important? When we really get into the nitty-gritty of these procedures, one of the things that we're going to work on is a series of procedural manuals. Yeah, there will be procedures for when, let's say we have a new receptionist, you catalog or collect all of the receptionist tasks, you put them in one place, and you say to the new receptionist, here's your job, read these memos. With an owner, it's a little bit more complicated because there you're providing the information that somebody needs if they're coming in as a new owner, whether that's by you selling the business or you adding a partner or whatever that is. And there'll be a lot of things in that task list, the specific owner's work responsibilities, that will be a little bit more sensitive than perhaps the receptionist or other people's task lists might be. For example, there might be bank account information. There might be how you reprimand an employee, things of that sort that you may not want everybody to see. And so as we're developing this list, that owner's category is extremely important. Some other back of the office tasks or jobs, the bookkeeper, a managing partner who you could possibly think of as a COO or CAO if your company is large enough, chief administrative officer, and then an administrative assistant who basically assists that person with their job function. So really, this is just a skeletal list. It's a great list to start with for a smaller company. And it allows you to start to say, is this task something that we need done by this type of person or this type of person? And the more that you think of that, the more efficiently your business can and will run. And hopefully the better your business will be. So hopefully that will help you out. I provided a copy of this memo, and that you can copy and use incessantly as to your needs. And I hope that you all find this very useful. Thank you.